think this is more like, oh, we're just going for a road trip, just talk as we do.
And we'll just talk as we do. We're just going on a road trip.
Right.
I love it. So let's begin.
Okay.
Welcome to Hypnosis in Action.
Thank you.
Today I'm here with a sensational lady. Now I'm not going to let you talk for a few minutes because normally I say to whoever sits beside me, take it away and tell us all about you. And I'm going to ask you to do that in a minute. But first I want to tell the story of how I found you, because that's actually what I did, isn't it? So I was on a road trip. I was on a road trip from Roma to Brisbane, and I pulled in to a place. At the time, I was what do they call it? That type of I've forgotten the name of it, but it was like I was a caveman, and I was only allowed to eat meat and nothing carbs and everything like that. Carnivore, yes, but it had a special name, and we lived it for quite a while, and I've completely forgotten what it's called. But I'll remember before the end of the show, okay? Which meant that I didn't eat bread. So going into a hamburger shop was something I was really against the rules, because I didn't eat potatoes, as in potato chips, either, because they just didn't fit with the type of lifestyle I had, or my wife had me having at that time. So, and I was pretty strict at it. So I went, okay, I'll go in, I'll have a hamburger. It's been a long drive. I've been in the car for, I don't know, it's about 6 hours from, and I'm going to have a hamburger, and I'm going to break the rules. And I walked in, and sitting there in that shop was a book stand selling books. And I walked over to the girl, I said, but it was only one book, really. It was lots and lots of one book. I walked over to the girl behind the counter and said, what is this? Why would a hamburger shop be selling these books? She said, oh, well, the author works for us. I went, so cool. And then I made it my job. Well, I bought the book and enjoyed it, by the way. It's not really my style of fiction, but I did enjoy it. And went in search of you, because at the time I was manager of a small business club, and I needed you to come and talk to us, because young people doing great things doesn't happen. Well, it does happen, but people think it doesn't ever happen. So yeah, we got to talking, and then you came and visited the Back Scratchers, and that's where we first met. Cool. So now, tell us all about you.
So about as what I do, or about myself?
What you do is you're an author, and you're a really good one, and you write lots and lots and lots and lots and lots, okay? And we'll get into that, but I want to know about you.
Well, I was raised in the Darling Downs, which is where you found me. So yes, I was working part-time at a hamburger shop or a fish and chip shop for, I guess, 3 years when I started off my writing career. So I started when I was about 15. And that was more so when I was a teen. I was very angsty, and I didn't actually start writing until when I was 14. Our house burnt down, so we lost everything, and I had a lot of turmoil for what was the materialistic objects that were lost. And I think as a teenager, writing I used to do a lot of poetry and stuff like that, and it really helped me sort of come out of my shell a bit, or just write down those angsty thoughts. And that's when I first started my first series. But then I sort of not so much gave up on that, but I put that aside because, my parents were very much so, get a good paying job, like very old school, which is fine. So I stuck to that. So I did a lot of different jobs. I excelled.
So when we met, if I remember correctly, you were working a full-time job as a secretary.
I was doing sales in the local newspaper.
Oh, right. Sales and then a part-time job in the hamburger shop.
Yeah.
And then in your spare time, you were writing your second book.
Correct.
Correct.
And I think when we first met, I was doing the sales in the newspaper, and then I think by the time I'd actually come to Back Scratchers the first time, I'd then changed into construction work. So I was doing 40 to 60 hours there a week as well, doing transport allocation. And then, yes, in my spare time I was writing. So,
okay. So you've got a little bit of a work ethic.
I do, absolutely.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, my parents have always drilled into us to be hard workers, but I also think myself just keeping busy and knowing that I'm succeeding at something, and because I am very ambitious, I always inevitably want to see how far I can go in any career I do, which is why often, you know, I'm promoted within the first 4 to 6 months, or always sort of try and take that management role just to see how far I can push, which sometimes makes it difficult to also balance in with my writing and such. Like at the moment I'm doing transport management again, but that's fine because it's reward for myself really, and I'm young, I've still got the gusto and the, you know, spirit to do it, so I might as well while I can.
Okay. How many books have you written?
13 are published at the moment.
13 are published.
13.
Okay, so we met 5 years ago.
We did make 5 years ago.
Okay, you at the time were just about to publish your second book.
Yes.
So you are working full time and writing 2 books a year.
Yes.
Okay. That's sensational. That is absolutely amazing. Well, that's actually really 2.5 books a year, isn't it? 13 in 5 years.
I think it was more so. It's been 4 years, and I think the first 2 years I was publishing 4 a year. But then the last 2 years I've recently moved from the Darling Downs to Brisbane, so I've been travelling a lot and doing a lot more signings, and I've also been trying to relocate myself, so I've probably gone down to about 2 books a year now. I'm just trying to fill everything in.
Okay. So, relocate yourself?
Yes. I'm in the process of trying to move to the USA, which is very difficult right now.
Right.
So I probably about a year ago made the decision to sell up everything in my house, sell my car, sell everything, so then that way I had no room to come back for a safety line.
Right.
And then I went over for 3 months to the US trying to see if I could, you know, get work or set up something like that. Failed. Well, didn't fail, just didn't work that way. Came back again. I'm lucky for my previous employer who, you know, kept coming back and sort of been able to slip right back in and do some work. Well, I saved money up again because it's obviously expensive. And then I've tried again. So I recently just went to the UK and Europe to see if that was my my forte, if I liked that. Not so, I loved it, but I just really want to move to America. So at the moment I've been offered an internship in LA. So I'm hoping that, because the visa's been denied a few times, it's just very strict and difficult, but I'm hanging in there and I'm trying really hard because that's where I want to be.
Okay. Why?
That's why everyone asks why America. Because the first time I did, I think it was in 2016, I did a 3-week, my first international signing tour. So I went from state to state, and I have a lot more readers over there. I have a lot more people who support me. I feel like the literature, well, it's more endorsed by Americans. They go more fanatical, you know, more word of mouth, but also that's where primarily my readers are. And I realised that going over there, and when I came back, Australia didn't feel like home anymore, as odd as that sounds. So I sort of, ever since I've just wanted to be there. And I think for my books, it's the best decision to make because all of the massive publishers are there. There's a lot more like signing events, and I just think there's a lot more opportunity for myself there than there is in Australia.
Describe a signing event to me.
So basically what happens is you have a massive event with, say, you know, 40 to 100 authors, how many might be, and then you're open for, some do 1 day, some do 2 days, and then you're open for maybe 8 hours. You have your own table, you're displaying your books, you have swag, which is ultimately giveaway items, whether it be pens, lollies, you know, teacups, whatever it might be. And
what do you give away?
Well, I love giving away bookmarks, actually. Ribbon bookmarks. And then, your readers have the opportunity to come and see their favourite authors, or, you know, meet new authors, just sort of peruse the table, see what they like. You might have competitions, you'll have raffles. It's just a really good place and event for readers to meet authors and otherwise.
Okay. Do we have anything like that in Australia?
We do have a few, and it's getting a lot better, but not as much. Where in the US you're looking at probably 2 every month somewhere at least, whereas in Australia you might have 1 or 2 every year, and it's, some people are trying, they're opening new ones, but it's just not as fruitful, I would say, as American ones. Okay.
And you say most of your readers are there. Do you know how many readers you have? Thousands? Okay. So the marketing head is happening in my mind, and I know you are a avid social media marketer. And I was interested to know if there was a specific number on that.
I think I've sold so far, I was looking at the other day, ebooks, I think it was 500,000. But saying that that's also promotional when it comes to, some days on Amazon, and that again comes into marketing. You can do free book days and stuff like that, so where somebody can just try to get new readers, so you might give them, your book for free on these certain amount of days and get a lot of downloads. So it just comes into, I guess, the more people trying to hear who you are and what you do and what your books are about.
Okay. 500,000 books. So they're ebooks. When we first met, you were primarily doing the. I know I read your first book as an ebook, even though I bought the real one.
Thank you.
Where was I heading with that? Yeah. How are they still a big part of what you do, or is it mainly online stuff now?
I love paper books myself personally. Ebooks has probably been my focal point lately, only because obviously it's a lot easier to distribute. People are quick to buy because say it might be $2.99 or $4.99. They read it, they're going to click buy now. So it's definitely something I've been focusing on promoting, especially with myself going back and forth all the time. I can't pre-plan 3 to 4 months ahead to do paperback signings or go to bookstores or libraries. So unfortunately, paperbacks I haven't been able to push as strongly because I might not be able to present them as I'd like to usually.
Okay. What are you loving about it?
The biggest thing for me, I love my books. It's what I'm passionate about, but I think it's made me a better woman. Like I said, I started off as an angsty teen, and it's sort of I hid behind my screen a lot, and then starting to guest speak, which I still get nervous about, but coming out and approaching people, and then finding my confidence to say, actually I think you might like this book, having the confidence in what I'm doing, and then that built me more so as a woman to be confident to travel by myself, to even dream about moving internationally, to I guess dream large and stick to my guns with that. And by finding myself through my books, I hope that I inspire myself, but I hope that I can also inspire people that are close to me as well as like my sisters and stuff. So.
Okay. So you're the odd one out in your family. Okay. Do we have any other members of your family that have the get up and go that you've got?
Definitely. My sister, the other ones that are younger, so I have Jasmine, who's 19, she's 20 this year, actually, in a couple of days. And she's studying at the moment midwifery, but I very much think that she'll go into pediatrician.
Okay.
So she definitely wants to involve herself with children, and she's so smart, and sometimes it's quite interesting because I watch her. University's hard. I've never done it personally, but I can tell how stressed and tired she is, and she's working ridiculous hours, whether it be 30, 40 hours a week on top of that, and it just she inspires me a lot because she's got so much gusto, and even though she doubts herself now, I can see what she's going to be when she becomes a woman, and it's really exciting to see, and I just hope that she sticks with her confidence and she knows that she's doing great. And yeah, I've got a 15-year-old sister too, so she's just going through high school at the moment, and she's getting there. It's a little bit hard, I think, these days for teenagers in high schools. And then I've got a 4-year-old brother, so he just plays around.
Okay, so there's 4 siblings.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Next, we know you're wanting to head to the States.
Yes.
If the worst happened and you didn't make it there,
Yes.
what's next?
Probably UK or Europe. I think at this point in my life, there's plenty of opportunity for me here in Australia, but my whole aspiration is to see how far I can go with my books. And I think even being able to, when I'm in my 40s and 50s, grey with children and all of that, to be able to say, I lived over there for a while, just to be able to see the world, because it definitely has an impact on myself, on my writing style as well. So probably still looking internationally, just might not be in the States.
Okay. And you're down to 2 books a year.
Yep.
So we may have to whip you back into shape
Yes.
there. So how far can an author go? You've got your famous Stephen Kings and your J.K. Rowling, that type of thing. That's the tiniest number.
Right.
Can you really expect to make a living writing a book?
Absolutely.
Right.
There are so many authors that do. They earn, say 20 to 50,000 a year. That's not even through a traditional publisher. That's just them independently publishing. I'm not yet hitting that kind of mark.
Yep.
But it's definitely doable, and it's just getting the mixture of all those things right when it comes to marketing. Come to your own work, to your own presentation. Everybody's experience is different, and then other people are doing other promotional things on the side, such as whether it's motivational speaking or whether it's just offering their advice or doing own workshops and things like that. So there's definitely ample opportunity. It's just finding out what best works for yourself to make those targets.
Okay. And do you put yourself into your characters?
I think in every book, yes. I think you have to. From your own experiences or from your own sense of having that emotion, you better understand. And there's definitely in each of my characters, there's some kind of really strong emotional moral pull or personality quirk or something that I've thrown in because it's something that's very easy for me to write because it hits home. So yes, definitely.
What's your personality quirk?
I'm just very quirky in general. I like to be very humorous. I like to make everyone laugh and feel good about themselves. So I can be very bright and loud, which is appreciated, I'm certain, by most. But I'm not scared to make a fool out of myself. So when people probably don't know me as well as others, I probably think it's just a bit odd. But at the end of the day, I'd rather make a fool out of myself and make somebody else laugh because you've got to.
Okay. Do you have specific strategies to make the time to be able to do the things that you need to do?
Yes, very disciplined with timing. So I have, obviously at the moment I'm doing 30 to 40 hours working, but then I also do 10 to 15 hours working out every week.
Working out and
so
gym type thing?
Yep, just trying to be healthy and fit because, as they say, healthy body, healthy mind.
Okay.
And also it gives me some, obviously I'm on the computer a lot, so I definitely need to counter that. And then,
do you sit or stand at the computer? Sit.
And then, I need to make the time and allocate that time into it. So whether it's I can't go out for, a friend's birthday party or something that weekend, which I do try to, of course, attend, but if I'm not hitting my goals or my targets, sometimes you have to make sacrifices, and, that might be the case if I'm coming up to a deadline, then I'm in the back cave for 48 hours that weekend, so I've got to make the most of it.
The bat cave.
Bat cave.
Describe to me your normal, typical day.
Okay. So usually I will go from, I wake up at 3:30, start getting ready because I work at 5. At the moment I'm leaving, say, about 11 to 1. I'll go home, I'll have lunch, I'll have a nutty nap for about 15 to half an hour.
Yep.
I feel like that's very important, just to reboot during the day and try to cut up the difference between, alright, I've done this job, have a reboot as if I've woken up into a new day and then start my new job. And then during that time we're looking at about 2 to 4:30, so I'll spend 2 to 2.5 hours, whether it be marketing or writing. And then I'll go to the gym. Mondays to Wednesdays is usually either between 2 to 4 hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursdays and Fridays are sort of my non-gym days, so I have a little bit more time. I might just go for an hour walk, and then I'll try and spend that time focusing on writing instead.
Okay. How many words do you write a day?
Usually, averagely, either 5 to 10,000.
5 to 10,000 words a day. How many of them are useful?
All of them. I make use of all of them. Might just have a lot of editing to do in between. But.
Right. Okay. And so you're counting all of your marketing materials into that 5 to 10,000. That's phenomenal. So so the practice of writing has built you up to that number, or where did you start?
Probably nothing like that. There's probably only a chapter, maybe at max. I was writing 2,000 a day when I was younger, and I think it's very mentally straining to write that many words because you're constantly on the computer and you're writing. It's very exhausting because the entire time while you're obviously writing, you're envisioning everything and you're making sure that it flows smoothly. So, you know, I might be able to write quickly, but sometimes the brain doesn't keep up. So and even when I did have a couple of months break, I didn't write too much when I lived in those 3 months in America. Coming back, I had to build that up again because my mind didn't have the stamina anymore. So I think it's definitely mental exercising.
I'm at the moment, I'm always doing something to try and improve myself. At the moment it's typing. Because though I type with most of my fingers, I don't type with all of them. And generally my pinkies are left out. So I'm doing a course, an online thing where I'm actually sitting down and doing half an hour a day typing. And I find that when I move away from that specific thing where I'm just reading it off the screen and typing it in, where I can get, I don't know, I think I'm just about to hit 20 words a minute. But when I'm thinking and trying to type at the same time, I'm finding that I can type faster than I can think. How is that ever going to go away? And how much practice would I have to do to move that out from behind me? Are your fingers moving as quick as your brain? Or is your brain moving as quick as your fingers? Is the real question.
I think that, so when I write, now that I'm thinking about it, actually, I don't think I've ever thought about it that intensely, but I think mine's more so, I know this is going to sound a bit odd, but an echo when I write. So I instantly know what I'm going to write, and I just write and I write and I write, and then I might pause and I'm like, okay, I can understand what she's trying to say here. And I'm like, what is he doing in this situation, you know, where, because it's not only, it's like watching a film. So I'm trying to present it as best I can because, you know, she might be saying this, he might be saying that, but what is he doing as well? You know, is he leaning up against the bookshelf? Why is he doing that? So I do have to pause sometimes to read the atmosphere because although I'm understanding the dialogue that's happening between them, I need to stop and think about the atmosphere that I'm creating as well. So that usually I have to pause for that.
Right. Okay. Is there a character that you see off in the future that you want to write?
Yeah, plenty of them. As in not yet published?
Yeah. As in not yet wanted to take that on. Yes.
There's 2 books at the moment that I haven't yet. I want to eventually, but I'm a little bit nervous. So there's a horror one. I personally don't read horror. So I'm building myself up to that a little bit to be in the right mind frame of that. But there's another one which is drug and sex trafficking and things like that to do with 2 sisters, an older sister and a younger sister. And so I haven't started that yet because obviously I need to do my research properly, but I want to only focus on that during that time because I think it's going to be very emotional for myself as well. So I need to mentally prepare myself for what I'm going to read and what I'm going to write.
How much research do you do on your average book? Average book.
I don't know, bits and pieces. So my fantasy, not so much, but I still do research, you know, whether it's a couple of hours to, you know, days of researching just to make it, even though it's fantasy, it still has to be relatable and realistic to the readers. They need to find something that they can still relate to with it. So Token Huntress, I probably did the most research on because it's futuristic. I had to, you know, find out what the climate would be like because I changed a lot of what would happen in the future. I had to check out what, in that year, what scientists expected, you know, the climate to be like, what the world was anticipated to be, and I basically reversed that entire concept because, you know, what happens in the story and such. But definitely in the Shadow Minds journal that I'm doing at the moment, you know, has demons and things like that, and just to make it a little bit more relatable, you know, I can make up any creature and say, oh, it's called this demon, but I think it just touches it a little bit more if you're actually researching it. And some people might go, I've actually heard like a succubus or something. They're like, oh, I've heard of that, just to make it that little bit more relatable to what they might have already heard.
Yeah. Or what they might expect, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anything when you decided to come and have a chat with me, you thought would come up that hasn't come up as yet?
No, actually. It's been really wonderful.
It's good fun, isn't it?
It is. It's really fun.
Okay, so we've reached that point.
Yeah.
Okay, we've reached the point where I need to turn and look at what you said and put it into words just the way I see that you are hypnotizing yourself every day. Okay, so you have a habit. Okay, actually, I think you have many habits of from getting up at 3:30 in the morning to the nana nap. I think the nana nap is fabulous. That's something we should all do. It's definitely something I should do. To the gym habit, you are making time to do what you need to do. Where most people think they need to find the time, you don't. You have to make it, and that's something that you do, and you do, from what I can see, incredibly well. You're going against. You're a shining light for your generation, because most of us oldies like me think the younger generation are basically entitled, and
I agree.
You agree? I don't. I think my generation has a lot to answer for, because we've given a lot of our younger people the belief that they are entitled. But I think that there were just as many lazy people when I was 15 to 25 as there are now. But you stand out and you show, and we've just totally lost that camera, so we'll bring it back. And yeah, you just show very clearly how powerful members of your generation can be. And I'm guessing, and we haven't spoken about this at all, but we do speak about it. I speak about it often with the people who are sitting in that seat that you're sitting in, the people that you surround yourself with. Who do you surround yourself with?
A lot of different people, which I think is very powerful, because a lot of people say if you want to go far, you need to be around, influential people, motivational people, and that's very true. But I think also you need all different types of people, because in a sense it grounds me, but also for what I do, it helps me character build. I strive myself on networking and to be able to communicate to different people who all walks of life at different levels. I don't think that you need a specific type of person to surround yourself, but as long as you're not surrounding yourself with toxic people, I think there's a difference.
And if you run across the toxic people, what happens?
I'll still treat them kindly, but they're not people that I would spend after hours with, because I don't. That's not something I want to bother with.
Not spend after hours with. So in your business, you run into some toxic people?
Yes, of course. And you still be kind, because at the end of the day, they're customers or they're readers, and that's fantastic. But they're not people that I would further a relationship with.
Are we talking about haters, social media type haters? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, sometimes. And even them, you take on, if they have constructive criticism, you take it on. But if and there's been plenty of times where it hasn't been constructive at all, it's just been somebody trying to really tear myself down for no reason, when I know they haven't read the book or something. And I think that's rather sad that there's people out there that do that they feel like they have to do that. And I think that has a massive thing to do, and I've built that over the years, not to take it personally, because at the end of the day, it doesn't affect me, and it shouldn't, because obviously I value their words, and I don't even know that person, so why should I value it?
Cool. I think that's us. I think thank you for coming along. I think that I've watched you grow, and I'm just so proud to say that you're a friend. So one more thing, what I do offer for those who come and sit beside me is, if there's something that you'd like to change hypnotically, we can do that right now.
Oh, it's a tough one. That's really tough. Because I definitely want to try it. So I'm just trying to think of what I want to change.
Generally, people try and change their habits, and you seem to have formed an awful lot of good ones. So we don't want to change any of those.
Maybe, I don't know if it's considered one, but maybe self-doubt.
Self-doubt?
Self-doubt.
Okay. And you get that a bit?
I do.
Okay.
I think because I put a lot of pressure on myself, so it does come.
Okay.
Often.
Okay. I put a lot of pressure on myself, so it does come often. Okay. How often?
I don't know, probably a couple of times a week, maybe.
Okay. Can you remember the last time?
Probably a couple of days ago, just in regards to whether moving to the USA is going to work, whether I'm doing the right things to step towards it. Probably that.
Okay. And do you remember where you were?
I think I was in the car driving home.
Okay. And when you were in the car driving home and having these feelings of self-doubt, were you somewhere in particular? Do you remember where you were?
Probably at the lights that I usually turn left onto.
Okay. So at those lights, what I'd like you to do is just take yourself back there now. Okay. Feel everything you were feeling at the time, see everything you were seeing, hear everything you were hearing, okay, and just take note of what it is you're feeling in your body.
Tired.
What?
Tired.
Tired? Okay. And the tired is what? Is that a bad thing?
I think it's tired and frustration.
Right.
So I think they sort of go hand in hand. Tired of being frustrated over the situation.
Cool. So the great thing, because this is basically a thought that's in your mind, you know, that I'm feeling tired and frustrated. The great thing about that is there is always, almost certainly always a complementary something, or inside your body, or something you hear or something you see when that happens. So is there something inside your body when you have that thought? Is there a feeling? Is there a sound, a smell? Again, take yourself back there. Feel yourself sitting at that light and just
probably frustrated, probably because at the moment works a little bit. I'm in a frustrating situation.
Okay. And when you get that frustrating situation happening, where do you feel that?
Probably in my stomach.
In your stomach?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so feel that now.
Yeah.
Okay. And that feeling in your stomach when you're frustrated and sitting there, how big is it?
Pretty big.
Pretty big? Okay, so the size of a watermelon?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was right, watermelon size?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty big.
What colour is it?
Red.
It's red. Okay. Is it moving or is it sitting still?
No, it's sitting still.
It's sitting still. So like a solid weight in your tummy, and it's red and it's the size of a watermelon.
Yeah.
And can you feel it now?
Faintly.
Faintly? Okay, so let's stop it from being faint. Let's bring it right up.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. Is it getting stronger?
A little bit of resistance.
A little bit of resistance? Then remove the resistance and just let it get stronger and stronger. Because what we do when we feel these feelings is we try and push them down, try and ignore them.
Yeah.
So what I'd like you to do is not ignore it and just allow it to be there. How's it feeling?
Frustrating.
Frustrating? Isn't that cool? Okay, so you've got it there now in your tummy, solid weight, red. What type of red?
Like a bright red, but it's very deep in the middle.
Deep in the middle? Okay, and what shape is it?
Circular.
It's circular. Okay, and it's not moving.
No.
Okay, so concentrate on it and notice it there. Okay, and now I'd like you to just move it a little.
Yeah.
Got it? Okay, now move it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, now start it rotating. Can you feel it rotating?
It's a little bit weird.
It is a bit weird, isn't it? Okay, and now get it moving a bit faster.
Yeah.
Okay, and now change the direction of the rotation to that. Okay, and now what colour is it?
Purple.
It's Purple. Okay. And now spin it some more.
Yeah.
And now go back to sitting in that car and feel that frustration.
Yeah.
You got it? Okay, and now tell me what you're feeling.
I want to cry.
You want to cry? Okay, so how's that feeling in your stomach?
Lighter.
It's lighter. Okay, so start it moving again.
Yeah.
And faster.
Yeah.
And faster.
Yeah.
And what colour is it now?
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay, now go back to that place sitting in that car at those lights and feel. What are you feeling
Much
now?
better.
Much better. Much better like
Happier. Not frustrated.
happier. So what that frustration feeling, where is it? Now.
It's not there.
It's not there. Okay. Even if you go back, and do go back to that car, sitting in that car at those lights, and look for that frustration.
It's only very small now, like a coin piece.
Like a coin piece. Okay, is that bad? Or is that okay?
I think that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is just go back to the time before that. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Okay. Put yourself there. Are you there?
Yep.
And look for that frustration.
Yep.
And have you found it?
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay, so describe it to me. What colour is it? Purple. Okay. And how big is it?
Not as big.
Not as big?
No.
Okay, so do you want to spin it? Okay, spin it. And faster. And now what colour is it?
Yellow.
Now it's
Yellow.
yellow. Okay. And how's that feel?
Better.
Better?
Yeah.
What does better mean?
A lot more relaxed.
It's a lot more relaxed. So cool. Now go back one more time to another time, a different time and a different place where you were feeling that frustration.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you feel now?
Like it's smaller again.
Like it's smaller again? And colour?
Yellow now.
And it's yellow. So now, let's go forward.
Okay.
Let's imagine that one day next week you're going to have that feeling of frustration. Okay? And you can pick a place and you can pick a time.
Yeah.
And you can go there now.
Yeah.
And you can feel that feeling of frustration.
Yeah.
And now, what do you feel?
Not frustrated.
Not frustrated at all.
No.
Isn't that cool?
It is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And the good thing is that you can do that anytime you want to.
It's very true.
Every thought we have has a corresponding something. Yours today was a feeling, a red feeling in your belly.
Yeah.
And now, I guarantee, the next time you try and feel frustration, you're going to have a hard time doing it.
That sounds exciting. That's good.
So there you go.
Thank you.
A little bit of waking hypnosis.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing to do trance hypnosis while I'm driving, because whenever I put someone into a trance, I go too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's not
let's
safe.
not do that.
Not safe at all. Kaya, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming along. I've had a great time today. And it's been great catching up again. And that is the end of Hypnosis in Action for today with Kaya Carrington Russell. You better tell everyone, and you can't point at that one because it's stopped, but you better tell everyone where they can find you, a couple of the names of your books, all that sort of stuff.
Okay. Well, you can find me on Amazon and iTunes, or your big retailers. If my books aren't in your local bookstore or library, you can always order them through, and you can find me on my website, which is www.kayacarringtonrussell.com. And you can find me on almost any social medias. My preferred are Facebook and on Instagram.
And you're Kaya Carrington Russell on both Facebook and Instagram?
Yes, Instagram is kaya.crystal.
Kaya.crystal.
Yeah,
Okay.
my middle name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
No. Is there a story to the Carrington Russell?
Yep, Carrington Russell is my my biological dad's last name. So not a conjoining of my parents, but just my dad's last name.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Have a great day.
So thank you.
Welcome.